Morning, everybody. So, today I'm putting up December's portfolio, but before I do that, I did want to mention a few things, and this kind of goes back into the philosophy. So, there is an axiom or theory that for every 100 pictures you take, you may only get a couple that are considered good. And in the commercial world, that might be true. However, I do believe that today's modern cameras and their autofocus systems have negated a great deal of that. Now, you know, some exceptions to that might be landscape photography, but if you're doing that as a business, odds are you have practiced enough and are proficient enough, and the gear is up to the task. Then odds are you're probably uh, getting out of every five or so that are you might consider keepers. And it all comes down to what you're shooting for and the content and the context. And there are some times where the context is more important than the technical quality of the photo. And some of the best photographers out there know this, that a perfectly sharp photo isn't always what you're after. So, because it's the context that they're after. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to get the best picture that you can, but a couple of examples in paid work where you might want to include a picture that you potentially would not normally include would be, let's say it's a wedding, and there are some wedding photographers who absolutely won't shoot the smashing of the cake into the bride and groom's faces. And in this day and age, there's a lot of video work that goes into that, and if you have video work and that video has captured it, sure, absolutely. But if there's no video work and you're the photographer, if you have pictures of that event, and it's, you've got motion blur on both parties, I would say include that image, because the reason you're there is to provide your client with memories. The same holds true with a pet or, let's say, a child, you know, both of which can be fussy at interesting times. If it's an image that, particularly if the client is in the image or participating in the event, you might want to sometimes include those. If it's a humorous moment, because it's a memory. You know, for personal work, that is very true, because you know this this day and age, depending on if you're shooting pictures with just your phone, some of the new phones have really wide angle lenses, and you're at a get together with a bunch of friends and family, and you take pictures, and you know you realize that your finger edge of your finger is in the frame, which is really easy to do now on phones. Think about the context of the picture. Um, you know, if you have one that doesn't have that, great. However, if your finger or thumb is in the picture and it's the only picture you have, but it's of a memory, of course, try to edit it as best you can, but I would say you should probably keep that picture, because, you know, what's the primary reason for us people to take pictures? And that's to have things that go back and remind us of those events. Anyway, that's all. And we will go on with the show.